was just a random act of vandalism.
The damage is done. Dozens of tires slashed, suspects caught on camera, and neighbors mad at police.
We had no one come today.
They're now taking matters into their own hands.
Plus, the Phoenix Project helping people who lost everything in the Marshall Fire rise from the ashes in a way only Colorado can.
They kind of just sprang to action and started reaching out to their networks and their contacts.
And Hold Your Horses, a steamboat-style celebration that gives a whole new meaning to shoveling snow.
Thank you for joining us tonight for Denver 7 News at 10. I'm Jacqueline Allen.
And I'm Bayan Wang. An entire Lakewood neighborhood woke up this morning to their tires slashed. Authorities believe at least 10 cars were hit.
And that wasn't even the worst part of their day. Denver 7's Sloan Dickey found the police response has people in this neighborhood looking for ways to solve the problem themselves.
You guys can see here, completely slashed down to the ground.
Rosalinda Martinez woke up to this.
These are almost brand new tires.
3 of her tires slashed.
It was just a random act of vandalism.
She realized pretty quickly that this and this and this was not random.
I looked to the other side and down a few more cars. Yeah, their tires were also slashed.
30 cars in the San Francisco West neighborhood in Lakewood had their tires slashed as well.
Trying to remodel my kitchen right now, so it's another thing on the plate.
30 neighbors out hundreds of dollars for towing and new tires.
I think right now a lot of us are frustrated.
One neighbor shared this video with Denver 7. You can see the suspect's car drive past and then hear this. Tires being deflated. But neighbors say this evidence and this damage was not enough to spark action from the HOA or the Lakewood police.
We had no one come today. We were told that someone was going to be dispatched, and then we were told that they were, just overwhelmed with the snow and other issues.
Denver 7 reached out to the Lakewood police but have not heard back. Now, without much help from authorities, residents here say they're going to ramp up security themselves.
My husband and I are going to look into putting some kind of security cameras on our side of our building.
Definitely, I think I'm going to go get me a camera.
After they clean up the mess.
Change of plans for Saturday, definitely.
And residents here say they just want to know what happened and hopefully catch this suspect responsible for these acts of vandalism. So if you have any information or maybe even any ring video, you can share that with the Lakewood Police Department. Reporting in Lakewood, Sloan Dickey, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Sloan. And looking a little deeper, under Colorado law, this kind of vandalism can have serious consequences depending on the amount of damage. Anything more than $300 but less than $750 is Class 2 misdemeanor. Between $750 and $1,000 is a Class 1 misdemeanor, and $1,000 or more, definitely in this case, that's considered a felony. Denver police say the best way to report vandalism is file a report online so they can track it and save a copy for your insurance company.
A 71-year-old man has died while in custody of the Denver Sheriff's Department, and his family believes his death could have been prevented. Leroy Henry Taylor's family says he was serving a 30-day sentence at the downtown detention center for failing to appear in court. He contracted COVID, and jail staff took him to Denver Health to get help. After testing negative 5 days later, Leroy's family says he was taken back to the jail where his health quickly deteriorated. Leroy's family claim he asked for help multiple times but didn't get the treatment he needed from the jail's medical center. Leroy died February 9th. His family eventually got a call the night of his death, but not from the jail or hospital. He got a call instead from his cellmate's mother.
On the 9th, at approximately about 8:30 or so at night, she received a phone call. The lady answered the phone and asked, "Are you Sandy?" She said, "Yes." She said, "Is your brother Nicky?" She told her, "Yes." She said, "Well, my son is in his cell with him and told me he just died."
Jacqueline and Sandra say they still haven't been allowed to see Leroy's body 3 days since his death. They say they want accountability and answers. The Denver Sheriff's Department says Denver police have opened an investigation into Leroy's death per protocol. Now, we reached out for additional comment to the Sheriff's Department, DPD, and Denver Health, but haven't heard back yet.
The search for a missing dog continues tonight after her owner's car was stolen with the dog still inside. Brian Parks was making an Instacart delivery Sunday night when his Toyota Sienna was stolen near City Park in Denver. Well, since we first reported this, his car has been found last night, just a couple miles from where it was stolen. But Zuri, you can see her here, the 9-year-old pit bull, she's still missing. Denver police are asking anyone with information to call them, and the family's offering a $2,000 reward for her safe return.
Lucky to be alive. That's what police and first responders told one Denver girl after a drunk driver hit her car near Colorado Springs in October. Now the community is helping raise money for her hospital expenses. Brother Down, a nonprofit, stepped in to help Madison Crandell and her family. 4 months later, Crandell is still recovering physically and emotionally.
It was really painful, and you don't really realize how much you use your body until you can't use a part of it. And so just figuring out how to move around and not hurt myself was a whole new thing. It's pretty surreal when you have hospital employees and police officers coming and saying that you shouldn't be alive.
There were 8 people in Crandall's car, and all of them were able to walk away from the accident with non-life-threatening injuries. The drunk driver also survived the crash. All right, a BNSF freight train went off the tracks this morning as it was leaving the rail facility in Denver. This was on a bridge between Union Station North and Prospect Junction next to a pedestrian bridge. 7 cars derailed. 3 of them went into the South Platte River. Luckily, no one was hurt in this incident. The cause of the derailment is still under investigation.
For the thousands of people who lost everything in the Marshall Fire, the need doesn't just go away after 6 weeks. And here in Colorado, the help doesn't go away either. What happened here today at the Black Lab Sports Warehouse is yet another example of that. They teamed up with more than 40 major name brands to give fire victims brand new items for free. This is really cool. They're calling it the Phoenix Project. Their goal is to help people rise from the ashes. Santiago Saez was at the event. He and his family were visiting relatives in Argentina when the fire hit, and they lost everything.
A lot of coats, sports stuff. Like my dad's getting some bike things that we lost a lot of in the fire. Yeah, a lot of warm clothes.
It was a project that came about from a coalition of local companies got together and on the day of the fire decided what can we do to help. So immediately they kind of just sprang to action and started reaching out to their networks and their contacts and worked on getting donations of brand new clothing, apparel, gear, things that these folks might have lost.
Really nice brands too. About 1,000 people signed up for today's events. Organizers say everyone involved in putting it together either knows someone affected by the fire or they were affected themselves and they wanted to give back. All right, people who live in the Colorado Mountains, they know how to have a good time in ways no one else does. Up next, the Steamboat Springs sporting event we are told every Colorado Winter Olympian has competed in.
And the big game is tomorrow. The Denver 7 sports team tells us why they're feeling the Super Bowl blues, and it's not because the Broncos aren't in the game.